We are almost a year plus into this pandemic. Still, we all are confined to our homes, minimum social interactions, and without our knowing, it has taken a toll on our mental health. A warm welcome to all the panelists. I'm Anusandeep Kaur, Coordinator, DPS Bathinda, and I'll be taking you through this webinar on the emotional well-being during the COVID times from the perspective of the school, organized by Delhi Public School, Bathinda. The times are unprecedented. We are still waiting to understand the overall impact of COVID-19 on the education system. Keeping the impact on the teaching learning aside, let us focus on the emotional well-being of our student, which is utmost requirement of the day. We have the representatives from the teachers, parents, students, and a specialist on the topic to talk about the issue. Now, may I take our honor to introduce the panelists. First of all, I welcome our Honorable Principal, Sir, Mr. Jatindra Kumar Sani. Welcome to the webinar, sir. Next, we have Colonel Rajiv Sani, Professor of Psychiatry, Kolkata. Welcome, sir. Looking forward for your valuable suggestions. We have representatives of the parents in the panel, Dr. Harsimrat Palkar, Rural Medical Officer, Bathinda, Dr. K.L. Bansal, Heart Specialist. He is physician in the Delhi Heart Hospital, Bathinda. And next, we have Dr. Shikha Narang with us. She is working as Assistant Professor, Department of Pathology, Adesh Hospital, Bathinda. Welcome, everyone. We also have representatives from the teachers in the panel, Mrs. Paramjit Kingra, ma'am, Senior Mistress, DPS Bathinda, Mrs. Sangeeta Sharma, Teacher Representative, and Mrs. Jasprit Kaur, Junior Wing in charge. To listen the voice of the students, we have the representatives from the students in this panel, Unna Mandal, student of class 12th, Humanities, Arushi, head girl of the school, Abhinav, student of class 9th A. Welcome, everyone. I hope we will use this platform provided by the school to share our concerns and worries with the panelists so that we can get the right solution at the end. Now, to start the webinar, before I ask from the panelists, I request our Honorable Principal, sir, to say a few words on the context. And sir, kindly share that being a head of the institution and a team leader, how is the school supporting social and emotional well-being of the students and teachers? Over to you, sir.
Dear staff, parents, and honorable panelist, specialist Dr. Rajiv, and students. Into the pandemic, for the last 1.5 years, we have evolved, and there has been huge learning in every industry, may it be health, manufacturing, trade, and even in education. Keeping our focus on the context of the webinar, social and emotional well-being during COVID, from the perspective of school, what I believe is that children in the growing age learn faster than any other age in life. What we need to provide them with are the opportunities, a positive environment, constant parental support, effective school system, and positive learning engagement. In addition to all this, there is one very important area for the holistic development if we want our children to grow as stable, happy, and productive human beings, and that is social and emotional well-being. It is something intangible that we can't see. There are a whole lot of factors that contribute to the development of their emotional and mental well-being. Recently, CBSE conducted 2 webinars on similar topics. The first was on care, compassion, and communication. The key takeaway from this webinar is that schools need to develop a robust caring ecosystem within their own network and a greater bond with the stakeholders. The second was on hope and resilience. It was reinforced that human race has huge potential to rise even in the extreme of adversities. We are a community, must stay united and lead the journey with hope for a better future. The chairman CBSE specifically mentioned that a single governing body alone cannot handle the crisis that our education sector is facing at the moment. All stakeholders must unite and deliberate on finding better solutions in their smaller networks, keeping the local context in mind. Schools can play a huge role in bringing every stakeholder on board and take help of experts in the field and set the path for rising to the occasion. If we say children of today are the future leaders, entrepreneurs, doctors, teachers, and change makers, then it's our collective responsibility to look after them and help them cope with challenges of time. Coronavirus is the immediate challenge that has pushed us all into a new normal, a transformational process. It has changed the way we live and the way children are to be brought up in the new normal way. Various studies have been conducted to assess the current situation, and the findings are mixed and many are alarming. A few of them are areas of concern, just like variants of concern. Children are in isolation, studying mostly online, have limited access to friends, relatives, and people around them. They lack facilities for outdoor activities, including sports. The chances are high that they develop anxiety, stress, depression, insomnia, and unless we get them occupied in productive activities, they might fall prey to one of these problems. Let us not get scared with these findings because many other studies point just the opposite. For example, children are learning new skills. They are evolving as researchers, self-motivated learners, innovators, can collaborate better using technology. Teachers have learned to use hybrid model of teaching, which perhaps could never happen in the next 10 years. I'm proud to say that Delhi Public School Bathinda is one of the many schools which have successfully met the challenges of difficult times. Beside teaching, we have a network of support system for parents, teachers, students through multiple platforms. However, I believe that is just a beginning. We are fortunate to have unconditional support of parents. Today is another historical moment that we are beginning a new chapter to broaden our approach and discuss openly a very sensitive but important aspect of schooling: social, emotional, and mental well-being. Today, we are proud to have three of the parents as panelists and the most distinguished doctors in the city, and also an expert who will enlighten us further on the issue of social and emotional well-being of our children, parents, and teachers. For rest of our request, Mrs. Anu, please go ahead. Thank you very much for all.
Thank you so much, sir. So you very well said that school plays an important role to provide the environment, opportunities for the holistic development of the students and for the emotional and social well-being. So surely, sir, and we have the evidences that DPS Bathinda is working very hard for the social and emotional well-being of the student. And this webinar is the example for that. Thank you so much, sir. Now the turn is to discuss with the representatives from the parents. I'll take the opportunity to ask from my first panelist from the parents, Dr. Harsimrat Palkar. Ma'am, you are a working parent and kids are at home continuing their schooling through the online mode. You have to manage home, your work, and you support the children education also. I would like to ask you two questions. And that, how are you handling your kids with the online classes and their schoolwork? And my second question is, the children must be missing school and especially their friends. So it's a fact that children share more with their friends than their parents. How do you monitor their social and emotional health? Being a doctor and a mother, which suggestions you want to give to the parents? Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, students, and hello. Yeah, in the present situation, I feel that we are facing two challenges. First is that we are all dealing with the pandemic, and the second is like more serious than that, we are dealing with the complete lockdown. As far as pandemic is concerned, I think now COVID is already 1.5 years old, and I think the medicos as well as non-medicos, they're all aware of all the SOPs or all the protocols that we have to follow, taking care of the medical part of the COVID is concerned. Now, I'm concerning, I'm talking, I want to talk about hand hygiene or all the medical protocols that are issued by the various medical agencies in this pandemic. Right. Now, the second challenge we are facing is complete lockdown. I think that has really taken a great toll on the medicos also. As a working mother, and that too as a medico working mother, I feel that my child is comparatively more aware about the medical part of the COVID, right? But as far as the online classes and managing household, I think that as a parent, I'm able to convey this to my child that nothing is rocket science until and unless it is a team management. So his online classes, though it was, but these are his online classes, but I have a great role to play in them. Similarly, I may be a working mother, but he also has a great role to play for me as far as my profession or as a working parent. So I want that all children should realize this. Firstly, that they are lucky enough to have these online classes. They should be aware and they should realize that there are many children, there are many students worldwide who are not getting this opportunity. Had it been this pandemic, we would have faced this pandemic during our own childhood. I think we would have been at a great loss. So online classes, they are boon to them and they should take the full opportunity of that. Second is, they may be facing many difficulties in during these online classes, but they should realize that on the other side of the table is their teachers, their staff. They are also facing all these problems. So they should help them. They should take this opportunity in a very serious note. In a very, I think it is a boon to them that they are getting this opportunity of the online class. Now, thirdly, as a parent, I think it is very necessary. Like what I do is I don't use the word online classes. I always use the word school time. Even during these days, whenever I'm back from my job, the first question that I ask my child is that, how was your school? So I feel the child should understand that the morning time is their school time. They are not working from home. See, teachers are working from home if they're taking the classes from home, but they should follow all the schedule. They should take it very seriously. So I would rather prefer the term school time rather than these online classes or they are working from home, right? Now, thirdly, as a parent, I feel I have noticed that if you provide a very private environment to a child during the online classes, then he's more comfortable at, right? Because I think as a parent or if the child is taking the online classes, he should get a proper private environment while he's attending all those classes. So if I'm helping him in all these classes, then he also helps me. My child also helps me in in the household management. So during this pandemic, because there are no household helps and me being a working mother, I make him realize that if I am helping him, he should also help me in managing the household. So whenever he feels the responsibility of some of the household chores that may extend to from the gardening to even sweeping or even mopping, he takes a responsibility. And I think it's a high time that we should make them realize that these are difficult times and we cannot work as an individual. It is a teamwork. So they are part and parcel of running this household. Now, as far as their social and emotional component is concerned, see, because during these times, they all own their own personal phones. So every child has got his or her own personal phone. So there has to be, a very time management of the screen time, proper management of the screen time. It has to be there. So I always encourage him to make video calls to his friends, to make video calls to his families also. And one thing is very important, that so that he is in connection with his friends. I make sure that if he gets any problem, rather that he approaching his teacher for that problem, they should discuss among themselves. He should maybe regarding any subject or any problem, before he discusses all those problems with his teacher, they should discuss amongst each other, because they all have got some WhatsApp groups. And I think we should also allow them to play some online games. There should be proper management, because you cannot restrict them. At least I cannot restrict my child, because half of the day he is all alone at home, being a nuclear family, and we both being medicos. Half of the time my child is all alone at home. So I have to give him some liberties, and I have to gain his confidence, and I have to make him responsible for for many things that he does. I have to gain his faith. So I think this is how I deal as a parent, as a
Thank you
working
so
parent.
much, ma'am. So I appreciate your suggestions that one is that online classes should be a school time and keep it seriously. And secondly, you said that keep the monitor on the whatever the screen time and on the student, give them opportunity to do work. But being a parent, you should keep a check on the student also. And you also add that it's a very difficult time. And with the collaboration of students, parents, and teachers, we will be able to manage this difficult time. Thank you so much, ma'am.
One thing I would like to add, that at this time we should not give a very chocolatey picture to our children. We should present them a very clear picture about the pandemic, about the ongoing times, so that, because once you know that life is difficult, then it becomes easy. Right? So a very correct and very quality knowledge should be provided to the children about the ongoing world during the pandemic. We should not give only the chocolatey picture to them. They should realize that life is difficult for many people. We are at a very comfortable position. So I think they will also feel their responsibility.
Next question is to Dr. K.L. Bansal, sir. Sir, you are a doctor and a heart specialist. You must be dealing with many coronavirus patients. For a common person like me and for the younger children, coronavirus is a serious disease. It has caused a lot of fear and anxiety among the children. They gathered information from adults, friends, and many social media platforms, much of which could be misleading and confusing. So this further add their fear, anxiety, and uncertainty. So there is a life beyond the coronavirus too. What tips would you give to our students, teachers, and parents? Over to you, sir. Dr. Bansal, please unmute yourself, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself. Devinder, sir?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Over to
Can
you,
you
sir.
hear it, ma'am?
Yes, sir. You are audible. Continue, sir.
Okay. Very good evening to everybody.
Good evening,
Hello.
sir.
Good evening.
Good
sir.
Very
evening,
good
sir.
evening to everybody. The
Very good
most
evening.
important thing in our post during our coronavirus time, we should take care of our good diet, very balanced diet, highly protein diet, and regular exercise, and local protection wear like hand wash, and we should wear a mask. And then we have to regularly wash our hands, that gathering places, very crowded places should not be, should always be avoided. So that's then another most important thing is that between for the students and for the teacher and the parents, I want to tell it, they should not be stressed about that. Okay, this is coronavirus and this is going to cause harm to the life, because we have to avoid it, and we have to avoid that. How to prevent that fear? That prevention is better than cure. So we have to regularly wash our hands. Then we have to do regularly wear mask and high protein diet, and avoid stress. Avoid stress. That is the most important reason. And early, once it is diagnosed, you have to
We should all
contact
follow
the
this.
local person, local
Okay.
doctor. He should take care about that. So my sincere advice to all that is prevention is better than cure. So what you should do, you should prevention how hand washing, wear mask, and wherever that gathering is there or crowded places there should be avoided, and good diet and stress level. Luckily, we should stay more with children, family members. So that will be the avoiding cause factor should be, because we are giving less and less time to the family. So that time, parents and teachers and students will be more under stress. So I feel it good protein diet and prevention, that I have told you. Okay, we have to wear mask and
Yes, yes.
hand sanitizer, and regularly share the things, all our feelings with our family members, so that, and you have to go on regularly talking with your students, with your parents, with your teachers, so that you will have a guiding factor. Stress level will be decreased. So this is
So thank you.
all I
Thank
want
you
to
so
tell.
much, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
So
ma'am.
I think so we should all follow these guidelines. So next, my next question is for Dr. Shikha Narang. Ma'am, how do you feel concerned about the academic growth of our ward? That what is your perception of learning during the pandemics and when schools function online? Over to Shikha, ma'am.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to wish respected principals, or teachers, parents, and dear students a very good evening to all of you. And yes,
Good
if you
evening.
ask me regarding academic growth in this COVID pandemic, then I would like to say it was great, because the teachers, DPS teachers, have done a good job, really a commendable job, because the
Thank you.
students have not missed anything. I would like to say the last year was awesome. The students have learned each and every subject of theirs. They have great concept. They have learned their concepts. They had good grasp over the subject. There was no problem, I would say. The way the classes were conducted, they were like awesome. The students have learned each and everything. And I would personally like to thank the teachers and especially the principal sir for that. And if we think about the academic growth, it's not just the marks that the student gets. It's more important for them to feel healthy and safe at home in this pandemic. Because in the hospital, in the working area, when I see so many people are losing their lives, there are no beds in the hospital, the ventilators and oxygen, the condition is worse. And even now the black fungus is causing havoc. So it's good that the students are at home and they can still study. There's no harm to the studies. Studies are also going on, and they're healthy. They're safe at home. So it's a great effort from your side, and they are doing the online classes. And otherwise, also the students have learned also academically, also not suffered, and emotionally. And also you have given the assembly, the yoga time, aerobics. So that is also being continued. So I don't think my child has suffered anything on the front of academic growth. In fact, there is a strong bond that has formed between the parents and the teachers, and also with the teacher, the student is still in contact, and also the students are in contact with each other when they attend the Zoom classes. So it's been a good experience overall, and I'm very happy with it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. So thanks for your words of appreciation. If we'll talk about your medical term, so this gives us ATP, energy. So thank you so much, ma'am. So now
Thank you.
next, the turn is to listen to our specialist of the field, Colonel Rajiv Sani. Sir, you are a psychiatrist. and deal with lots of difficult cases. You have also conducted a survey of our school students in which more than 575 students filled the survey, and from where in you asked very simple and meaningful questions. Could you share your findings and also suggest some measures to remain positive and hopeful in such difficult time? Over to you, sir.
Firstly, good evening and thank you for this opportunity. It's great to connect with students and parents again. First, I would like to share the findings of the survey. At the outset, I want to thank all the students who took part in the survey, and it is very fascinating to know the mind of the students, how they have been coping, and very heartening to know that children learn quickly. They have strong resilience, and the majority, about 70% of them, 70% of them have not suffered academically. In fact, about 40% said that they find it better. The online education is better than the at least 9th, 10th, and 11th, 12th students. They find it more meaningful than physical classroom. On another good note is that the bond between parents and children and amongst children, the siblings, it has become much stronger. So they now appreciate what their parents go through while they are in the school. They are in the tuition, they are playing the playing field. So what parents go through. So while they are at home, so they are not able to understand the parents' problems. They also have learned how to help them in day-to-day chores. So that is very heartening. And another important thing that we ask them questions about depression, anxiety, and sleep problems. So that is quite sad. Quite about 50% of them actually suffered from a bout of depression during this period. About 40% suffered from anxiety-related issues, and about 30% said they had persistent sleep problems. So it is important to know good sleeping and good healthy habits while we overcome this corona epidemic. So I made a list of about 5-6 points which I want to share so that this stress, anxiety, depression is thing of the past and we can continue to progress in this corona times. At the outset, it is important to understand that healthy lifestyle with good balance of academics, recreation, and sports is important. Second is effective time management. So we have to prioritize what is important, what is unimportant. So we have 24 hours, all of us have 24 hours, so we must divide our time so that the important things get done first and things which are not so important, they can be a second priority. Another important thing is about healthy eating habits with good balance of protein, carbohydrates, vitamins, fat. So one should have a balanced meal. So good sleeping habits. One must never ever ignore about 6 to 8 hours of regular sleep, which really helps us to maintain our immunity and healthy body as well as mind. It's important to acknowledge that our memory is far better if we are sleeping well. So one should never ever compromise on quality sleep. So in corona times when we have to get up late, so we tend to sleep very late in the night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So in the process, what happens? Our mind is not able to work properly the next day. So one should sleep on time and get up on time. So one should avoid any intoxicant like drugs, alcohol, smoking. One should avoid as far as possible because they tend to lower our immunity and we may fall prey. Another important thing is to maintain good, healthy relationships at home. So at times we may have to make compromises, but we should focus more on the gain that we get by maintaining good relationship between family members, friends, and distant relationships also. Now that video calling is very common and it's very freely available, one should make full use of it. Maintain good contact with your friends who are positive, who are helpful. And last but not the least, having hope about future and belief in Almighty, because He is the one who controls everything. So pandemics have an important role to play in evolution. Like this pandemic also, it has how we have evolved, how we have learned to live with basic amenities. So that is important thing. So we must accept whatever is happening is part of evolution and we must actively participate and learn from it. Another thing which is important is goal setting. So goal may be a short term or a long term. One must remain focused on one's goal. So these few things which I wanted to share with children, and which helps them to remain all right during this pandemic period. That's all
Thank
from
you
my
so
side.
much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I have listed all your suggestions. So your suggestions are very valuable for us. So definitely we will share with our students, and I hope so your suggestion will help our student for the better emotional well-being. Thank you so much, sir. So now I'll ask
Thank you.
from the students representatives. So during these days, so you all are going to the, you all are not going to the school and you are attending online classes. So now you tell me your responses of my questions one by one. First, I'm starting with Abhinav. Abhinav, how do you maintain the social connect when you are lonely at home? Over to Abhinav.
Good evening, everyone. So, we all know that during this stressful pandemic time, maintaining social connects bring cheer to our lives. But now the question is, how do I maintain social connects? So, I try to maintain social connects by making out the best use of the services that we have at present, like the video calling or the FaceTime services, which help us to talk to a person as if he or she is just sitting next to us. So to cite some examples, me and my parents celebrated my birthday. We attended some family functions and we even had some family get-togethers. And we all did this virtually through the online mode, and it was really fun. I also try to stay in touch with my friends. I chat with them, and sometimes we even discuss our homework and studies. And social connects are also maintained in our online classes because our teachers in our classes take all doubts from each and every student in such an interactive way that I don't ever feel that I am really and that I am the only person who is sitting alone and learning new things.
Good.
So technology, I think, has proven to be a boon for us during this period, and thus we are able to connect with our near and dear ones. Thank you.
Good. Yes, Abhinav, you said that you spend most of the time by using technology and on social media. So continue to it. So Urna, can you tell me that how are you dealing with the technology and online classes? Over to Urna.
Good evening, everyone. Using technology for learning was something I imagine only happened in movies. Me and my friends used to talk in class like how this was something that couldn't be possible practically. But now here we are learning online 24 hours a day. But it's okay, times have changed and we are using it daily, and it's increasing our learning time, as now schooling is not only limited to the few hours we spent in school. We are 24/7 connected with our teachers, and we can ask the doubts or whatever we want to ask from them whenever we want. It was sure difficult and distracting. It was very distracting in the beginning, but now 2 years into the pandemic, we are all used to it. And not only for studying, I've learned to utilize technology to its maximum extent and learn new skills and hobbies from it. So this is how I've been coping with using technology these days.
Good, great. Maybe some are not facing this technology as the way you are doing. Maybe some feel stress. So now over to Arushi. Arushi, being a head girl of the school and leader, so can you tell me how are you dealing with the stress so that other students get benefit of it?
Greetings, everyone. So, talking about how I've been dealing with anxiety and stress, 70% of my anxiety and stress was curbed with the help of keeping myself busy and being productive. So, what I generally do is before sleeping at night, I set a certain amount of tasks and goals that I have to complete on the preceding day. And on the next day, when I complete all those tasks, it gives me a sense of satisfaction, which is very helpful in curbing the anxiety and stress. Second, I have adopted healthy eating habits. I've been working out, and I have adopted meditation and yoga and stuff. And it helps to keep my mental health intact. Also, working out keeps my body physically fit. And we all know being physically fit is ultimately equal to a good mental health. And of course, spending time with my family. Communication is the key. I am a sole believer of communication, and I highly believe that communicating is the key, and it helps us to curb anxiety and stress to quite a good amount. Next, I would like to give you all a suggestion about the principle of 3 A's. It's avoid, alternate, and accept, and adapt. So we should all avoid all such things which are or which may become a cause of our stress or anxiety in the future. Second, if we are facing, so the best thing about facing anxiety and stress is that it gives us a practical situation. It helps us to face the realities of life. So taking it in a positive way, we should fight it instead of running away from it. So we should alter and adapt ourselves to it. All in all, it's all about baby steps, and I really hope you all stay healthy and fit and well. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Very well said. Very well said. Whatever Colonel Rajiv sir said about the goal and KL Bansal sir said about the guidelines, so our students are already doing. So it gives us a sense of satisfaction to us. Thank you so much. Now over to the teacher representative. Now I'll take the opportunity to ask from Mrs. Sangeeta Sharma. Ma'am, as you are working as a class rep and a teacher, so in this transformation of teaching learning process, when there is a shift from the traditional teaching to the online teaching, and when the students are not in the direct touch, so how are you providing emotional support to the children during the COVID times? Over to Sangeeta, ma'am.
Thank you, Anu Sandeep, ma'am. Frankly speaking, actually, during the initial phase of pandemic, we teachers too felt rudderless in the beginning, as because the schools were closed and the whole, the most effective communication system was lost. But as we know that we grow during the adverse conditions, during the adverse situations only, and we learned many of the things, and we continued the education system with the new vistas of teaching learning processes with the help of technology. But gradually, when the pandemic moved on and took the worst situations, then we also realized that how the students will able to learn when they are depressed, when they are being down, and seeing this observation, how when they are observing everywhere these kind of situations. So during that time period, we felt that emotional well-being is much more important than just the education. So that is why, and we know that we are the secondary parents to the students. So we took up a job, and during the virtual classes, we started education also. Plus, apart from that, we gave the encouragement, and we told the students that we share the experiences, and better to make them comfortable in the classes. If they are not regular, then we are not going to threaten them. We should come to know the problems and in what situations they are going through. So all this, and being a history teacher, history is a wonderful reference. I must tell you that in the past, we have seen many pandemics. We have seen the natural disasters. We have seen the man-made disasters also, but we survived. And this is what I want to tell to all the students: we survived, and we are human, the most intelligent teacher. And this time also, we will be able to survive. And this is the best part, as because at the end, we want a very intelligent, confident student in front of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta ma'am. So you also told, and we also have the evidences that it shows that the teachers of DPS Bathinda, they are not only paying attention on the academic part of the curriculum, but they are taking care of the emotional well-being of the students also. Thank you so much. Now I'll take the opportunity to ask from our senior mistress, ma'am, Mrs. Paramjit Kingra, ma'am. Ma'am, you have experience of more than 20 years, and I'm sure you are also plan some strategies to help your students to deal or cope up with the situations. Ma'am, can you please share with us that how teenagers can protect their mental health during the coronavirus crisis? Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Anu Sandeep ma'am, and a very warm good evening to the August gathering and my lovely students. And all the lovely students present here are teenagers. So I can vouch for them that teenage itself is a very difficult phase, very difficult, going through it. It's a lot of mental, emotional, physical changes that are going on. And to top it with pandemic, it becomes all the more difficult. And I think the most vital thing that they're missing on are the social contacts. Though my young friends have already mentioned how they are taking care of those social contacts, but we have in a classroom also we try to do certain things. One is that we talk about anxiety. That anxiety is completely normal. It is normal to feel anxious. I mean, this is one thing we all need to understand, that we need to speak up our emotions. We need to speak up how we are feeling. So we have this little exercise in the classrooms. I'm taking class 10 and I'm taking class 12. One of my students is already sitting here. So we do talk about our emotions. Then is create distractions. And here the role of school becomes very important. So create distractions in a constructive way for our students. Give them certain exercises, certain home tasks, certain research work that will take their mind off this pandemic, that they're doing something constructive. So here, in this case, to create distractions, the school's role is extremely important. I mean, not just give mundane home assignments, give something more creative that will engage them mentally so that their mind is taken off this pandemic situation. And then we also talk quite a bit about focusing on our own selves, right? So we can't go out. Isn't it lovely, students? So if we can't go out, we can always go in. I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say here, that this is the time to introspect. So focus on yourself. And finally, this is one exercise I'm doing with my class 10 students, that we keep a gratitude diary. That we think of all the good things that have happened to us. So be kind to yourself and be kind to others, and keep a gratitude diary. So that will make you feel that, oh yes, life is not all that bad. So these are minor, small little strategies that we are adopting in our class to create an emotional well-being among our students. Thank you so much, Sandeep ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So you talked about the teenagers very well. So now we have Mrs. Jasprit Kaur, Union Wing in charge with us. So ma'am, as you are dealing with the younger student, ma'am talk about the teenager. Now we're talking about the younger student at the age of 3.5 and 4.5. So during this age, when almost students are in the lap of their parents, I wonder that how you and the teachers of pre-primary classes maintain the contact with the children in this particular age group. So to our knowledge, the children are responding very well the challenges. So may I request, ma'am, that kindly share what strategies you adopt to enable the kids handling the crisis, and what problems you face, and what changes have you observed in the young students. Over to you, Jasprit, ma'am.
Thanks, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. So first of all, my sincere thanks to the principal sir for making me a part of this esteemed panel. Yes, for this age group 3 to 6, I would say that our endeavor from the beginning was to involve each and every child in the class so that no one is left unattended or neglected. And I can say that with all the efforts, we have been able to develop a bond of love, so much that now they eagerly wait for their online classes and find themselves in a joyful atmosphere while attending the class. Continue monitoring, observation, and feedback helped us to explore children's feelings as they cannot express themselves. We try that no child gets affected by the stress his or her family is going through due to the pandemic. A lot of activities and one-on-one interactions have made the teaching learning process joyful. Children now feel connected with teachers and share their stories comfortably with them. And children become happy, so which makes their parents happy. And ultimately, it helps us to remove the stress and negativity and make all emotionally stronger. And this is all what we need today. Thank you.
Yes, very well said, ma'am. So this was really a wonderful learning experience, I think so, for all of us. So at the last, I would like to request our principal, sir, kindly conclude in 1 or 2 minutes. So we have a time constraint. That what are your takeaway from the webinar? Over to you, sir.
Well, I spoke a lot in the beginning, and I was in doubt that how will this interaction shape up. And to my reassurance, thank you all for such wonderful input that you've given.
Thank you, sir.
Purposely included doctors to begin with, because they are the expert in the field. When we talk about social and emotional well-being, I think they can understand better than any other specialized professional as in today. But we take from this is a starting point. Now we are sure that the best way to build up this social connect and also the emotional and mental well-being is to have belief and strength. Dr. Rajiv has pointed out the importance of relationship, trust, faith. Dr. Harsimrat has mentioned about believe in the strength of the children, giving them the assurance that they are the most fortunate children, and getting the support of the parent, the school, and the people around. Getting assurance from the children, and Arushi, I thank you for such a wonderful input, that suggestions you have given. I'm sure when our message is going to reach 2,000 students of our school and millions of students across the globe, they'll get the message that we are very fortunate to live a life with positive energy. That during the pandemic, what's important is, as Mrs. Sangeeta has mentioned, we have seen enough pandemics in the past, and we have evolved as the most intelligent generation on the planet. With this, I am sure that the need of the hour is to build in the faith and belief in the mind of the young ones, the parents and the teacher and all the learning community across. Move from here, build up the smaller networks, a robust hand-holding, a system whereby we feel connected and empowered. Thank you very much for your suggestions and your input. It's been a wonderful experience today, and we'll take this. I call this as a webinar on social and emotional well-being of this during pandemic, part 1, and we will have many parts of discussions. Thank you for your input.
Thank you, sir. I would like to take the opportunity to thank all the panelists to spare your valuable time, share your views, and give your suggestions to our students, parents, and teachers. At the last, I would like to thank Mr. Davinder Kumar also for the IT help. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.